Alright, this is Calibos, and we're playing Antimatter Chemistry. So in this episode, I'm pretty much going to be filling in stuff. Um, I've already done a little bit. And what I mean by filling in stuff is I basically, I went through and I'm looking for elements I don't have. So Ender Pearls. Ender Pearls gave me... Ender Pearls gave me silicon, mercury, and neodymium. Um, Then we have granite and polished granite. And I was just looking at a comment. This will come out like, I wouldn't say a week, but no, this is coming out on Monday, and I got this comment Thursday. I already responded to the comment, so hope timing is good for this. But when you look at the different materials, like granite versus polished granite, so looking at granite, um, aluminum oxide 21, iron 8.7, potassium chloride 8.7, silicon dioxide 43.48, technetium 4.35, manganese 6.52, and radium 6.52. But if we look at polished granite, we look at those, you'll notice that it has fewer things, and the numbers are different. Beryllium on the other. Yeah, so we can actually get beryllium from the polished granite where we couldn't get it from the regular granite. He was specifically asking about calcium, where he was looking at calcium and getting it from recipe for calcium there. He was looking at the andesite. So andesite has a 3.77% chance of getting calcium. That means for every 100 that you do, you might get like 3 or 4. Whereas if we look at polished andesite, and we look at calcium, we have a 14.81% chance, which means for every 100 you'll get, maybe 15. So it's better than a 1 in 10 chance now. So you're much more likely to get it here. So that's kind of the way that I recommend getting it. The other way to do it would be to go ahead and make the drop of evil. So you can get drops of evil in 2 ways. One, you can go to the nether and kill wither skeletons. 2, the chemical combiner, you just take 8 gunpowder and sulfur and carbon. And gunpowder is carbon, sulfur, and potassium nitrate. So sulfur is pretty easy to get. All you need then is the potassium nitrate, which is oxygen, nitrogen, and potassium. And you get the potassium from potatoes. And the nitrogen you get from psilocybin, which I've been getting from loot chests. I haven't gotten any of the amide yet, but we could probably make ammonium, which I haven't also got, mescaline, which I'm also getting from loot chests, potassium cyanide, which I haven't gotten, epinephrine, I haven't gotten that either, cocaine, I had a little bit of that, I broke it down, penicillin, I didn't get any of that, caffeine, I've been getting a lot of that from chests, and protein, which we are getting from protein we're getting from 2 sources, rotten meat and from the chicken farm over here. So that's pretty much where I've been getting that. Now, I wasn't actually intending to this episode, really. The other way you can get protein is string. So, if you grow the flax seeds, you can make string from flax. String. And then string is actually protein. So you can get nitrogen from that, which is, I think, pretty cool and relatively realistic. Anyway, so on our, now that we've burned nearly 6 minutes on that joyous thing, let's get some bone meal here. One of the interesting things about bone meal, and this is kind of what brought me into this in the first place, is I was looking at this. So if I have, and this is an important lesson here as far as look at all the various pieces of everything. There we go. There we go. So if I have a beetroot, and I look at what the beetroot gives me, the beetroot is going to give me sucrose and iron oxide, which is not a bad source of iron. You have a 50-50 chance of getting it, and if you do get it, it's 2 iron, 3 oxygen. So that's the beetroot. Now, if I convert the beetroot to red dye, then I look at it, I get mercury sulfide, which is kind of an interesting concept. Then, even weirder, if I take the red dye and I make pink dye out of it, and I look at what that breaks down to, it's arsenic sulfide. I don't actually think I have any arsenic, so we'll break that down. And arsenic is what, 33? So yeah, this is a demonstration of, just exactly how weird some of this can be. Sure. Arsenic there. So look at all of it. Oh, wait a minute. So this is actually in the wrong spot. It's checked. Go. Perfect. So that's an important thing. And now that we have arsenic, we can look at uses of arsenic. Finer, crush, it's arsenic sulfide, liquid. So we don't really have a lot of uses of arsenic, but it is one more thing in our chart here as far as build out. What I'm probably going to end up doing is trying to go through and get any different additional things I can. To just kind of like fill everything out. I'd also like to get a aqueous accumulator. So the device frame is really the only thing that we're got here. So manganese, osmium, and a copper gear. So copper gear. So we'll have to cast it, and then get a gear working die for a compactor. So I mean, we're gonna have to cast it. Get stone. Make this with grout. No, don't we have a quest for grout? My gosh, maybe we'll actually end up doing some questing after all. I know that we've gotten quite a lot of clay actually from loot boxes. And speaking of loot boxes and stuff, I'm nearly filled in all of the root beer. And it was very convenient that the mob spawner is like exactly the right. So you'll notice looking close, and I don't know if you saw it on the other thing, but most of my drawers now have whatchamacallits, void upgrades on them. Not all of them. I'm still working my way through it. But what I have been doing is we have all of this lava, and we have all of the obsidian breakers that we're getting. The other option is we can make obsidian. So magnesium oxide, potassium chloride, aluminum oxide, and oxide. So these are actually things that we get relatively easily. Especially if we go ahead and we pick up magma blocks from the nether. So let's get into our quests. I mean, I wasn't going to do serious quests, but I guess we're going to do some serious questing now. So let's look at the cobblestone generator tier 1. Or tier 2. That's a hardened servo. You'll notice that I have my here. So the weird things I've been experiencing is, see that? Like, it just vanished. I have no idea where it went. I'm wondering if the hoppers picked it up. But it's hard to know because I had 3 in here anyway. So, who knows? We'll need a cobblestone generator. We'll need some iron, and we'll need selenium. Looking at our iron, we've only got a little bit in here. Selenium. And I will be quite honest, I went ahead and spent some time or two. Oh, we have to do it in the chemical combiner. Like that. Make it. There it is. That gives us this quest. That's a hardened servo. No, I'd like to go ahead and upgrade it again. Possible. So our next goal is tier zinc and then diamonds. Get our diamonds. Got 32 diamonds now. That's crazy talk. Zinc. Not have zinc? Oh, we've got. Of course we have zinc. Why wouldn't we have zinc? That will give us our next tier cobble generator. So one of the reasons that I move my cobblestone generator to auto output into the dissolver is it's fast enough that it's not really interfering with anything else that I'm doing, especially with the upgraded hoppers I have been getting from loot chests like crazy. If you'll notice, my loot chest total is actually kind of like meandering gently downward. I will go into that in a couple more minutes. So let's look at tier 4. Cobblegen. Tier 4 is going to require blaze rods and thallium. Do I have thallium? Thallium. You have a little bit of thallium. Where do we get it? Soul sand. So let's go grab some soul sand. We'll put that in there, and that in there, and that in there. I'm just trying to eat as many different things as possible, just so that we have and these are actually, this is not for eating. I mean, it kind of is for eating, but I mean, it's also for the culinary generator. I have so much of it, and it basically burns roughly the same as the fuel, as charcoal. So, I get right. So let's get our hopper sorted out. Back. Hopper. So, as you see, we're not actually getting very much from this, but we do have a chance of getting something. I guess that's better than nothing. Anyway, over here, you'll notice that I kind of like ate the back out of this. I have this set up here, and what this is doing is this is opening loot chests. I very carefully have it set up to only pull 2 at a time, although that is apparently not low enough. I'll speed it back up when we have this empty, but it's kind of. But 2 is just enough to be faster than I am producing as far as the loot chests. Mechanical user, I just tell it to open the top left. We're pulling loot chests in, specifically that loot chest in, 1 at a time with this servo. And it is a regular iron servo, and just putting it in here. Back up. And then these 2 are pulling out at full speed, and they're blacklisting the loot crates. They don't touch loot crates. So I did not see a better way to open those. I really hope that somebody else has one, and then they can come tell me about it. Once we get a little bit further on, I'd like to go ahead and have a better option than that, because that is a terrible option. One of the other things that went on is at Journey Map, I actually found several nether fortresses now. And the nether fortresses are over there. Spot. The nether fortresses are, none of them were very big, but I did actually get some If I can grow mushrooms better. I mean, I can grow mushrooms. Wondering if they give me anything. Cellulose and cycloglobin. So that is another good way to get nitrogen. So apparently the mushrooms are kind of trippy. Oh, right? Good to know. We need some soul sand. Stuff should be around everywhere, right? Or not around. Soul sand. Oh, perfect. One of the other things that I spent a little bit of time doing was going through and making all of the different kinds of antimatter that I could make. Because I am producing a lot of giving us thallium and silicon dioxide, which is good stuff. Give us a little bit of iron. That's probably actually from a cobblestone. We'll pull the silicon. We want some regular stone for that. So if you'll notice, one of the things that I did here is up there I have the regular periodic table of elements. What we have here are all the more common things that I am getting my hands on. Others break down into protein. So yeah, chickens will give you protein a couple of what does it break down into? Protein and beta carotene. Okay. So arrows, as far as I can tell, are mostly useless. So we can fill them with potions, or enchant them, or craft them into like a few things, but mostly arrows are just garbage. Don't care about them. Most of the different jerkies, like once you cook something, it doesn't recognize it, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So one of these actually gives you nothing but dimension dimlet chests. The other one gives you, the assorted loot. Quartz gives us barium and silicon dioxide. All right, I think that we have barium in here. Maybe we don't. Barium is. Alright, so SR, yeah, we don't have barium. There, right? There you go. We've actually filled in a couple of different locations. You know, we covered how to get some of the stuff upgraded, therefore gotten a couple of things. Oh, so I picked up mob spawners, and next episode we're gonna set up mob spawners, some blaze spawners specifically. Try and deal with that. So I hope you liked this episode. If you did, leave me a like. If you didn't, don't. Questions, comments, concerns, they can all go below. You folks have a fantastic night.